Welcome back to the halftime show here on K105. It's time for another edition of our Cougar Conversations. Today, we go to the top of the food chain talking to Superintendent Robinson and Grayson County High School alum as well, class of 93, is that right?
1993, that's right. Big time.
Is that the best class?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm a little biased, but yeah, it is.
I see the comments right now already lowing. No, it's this class, it's this class. School year here, I guess we're 17 years into the school year, it probably feels like. We're 2 months, 3 months into the school year. How's it gone, though?
It has gone super fast. I was just over at the middle school this morning meeting with some staff members and sitting in some of their meetings, and everybody's like, man, it's almost Halloween. It's crazy how quick this year's went.
It's gone by really fast. I know every single time I go to the high school, it feels like the tech center comes further and further and further along. It's amazing the progress that they're making. Where does that stand right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's something I've been very interested in talking with different groups. But we had a construction meeting over fall break. We have an update each Tuesday of the first Tuesday of each month, and we're coming along. They've been busy all summer, but it's all work underneath site work, and so now it's starting to take shape of a building. So it was so wet in the spring, we're probably 6 weeks behind, so we're probably looking at maybe around fall break of 2026 of moving into the building. So but it's coming along well. They've made some real strides in the last month.
What is that building going to do for the students of Grayson County?
Yeah, that is going to be a game changer for not only our students, our staff, but also with our community. Our staff have done a great job over there in the current building, but it's just been outdated. Space has been a challenge. If you went into some of those labs, I'll pick on welding there, it was just so tight because of limited space. This is going to be a real game changer of kind of getting the space that we need to do the projects that those students and staff want to take on.
This school year, I know, has been a little different for those current students because they're at Bird Tool. What's that partnership been like?
That's been a great project. And, through when we started talking about this construction, we started off saying, how can we keep our programs going where our kids are doing skills and also do the construction? And we were going to try to work something out with our architects and engineers and have most of that on site. And then we just kind of bit the bullet and said, let's find a way to just get all of our students out, see if we can get some partnerships. And it didn't. Mr. Hayes and Bird Tool hit it right off the ground, with, getting that worked out. We went over there and they have provided us a great space. And it's been a wonderful partnership.
When I talked with Karen Lewis, I said, okay, what do I need to make sure that I hit on? She mentioned something, and I got to make sure I get it right. CKLA, Core Knowledge Language Arts. So this is something that I know has been a main emphasis for you all. Yeah. Be honest, it's the first time I've heard about it. So kind of what is the idea behind CKLA?
Yeah, a couple years ago, our legislature passed some laws related to reading, and all districts had to select a K through 3 reading program. And we put together, I guess, a couple years ago, along with myself and the instructional folks, we put a reading committee together, and we selected this program. And this is something we're doing K through really 5 in all of our elementaries. And this is our second year of implementation. And I have been blown away with the growth that we've had from last year to this year with our elementary reading program with CKLA. Our staff have dug in and worked so hard on providing that curriculum to a way for our students to assess. And you know what? I'm amazed. I've been in some of the classrooms, and it's amazing what these first graders know. I mean, they're smarter, a lot smarter than I am. Whatever that old show was, smarter than a fifth grader. Well, now I challenge you, smarter than a first grader. It's amazing. These kids they know so much and they enjoy so many of the topics within that program.
I know I saw some photography. They do these unit wrap-up events and so on, and I think were you involved in maybe a puppet show or an attendee in a puppet show? Were you involved? How'd that go on?
Yeah, that's been great. I started last year. I started trying to visit and spend more times in the classrooms, and so Lawler was one of the schools that kind of created, hey, here's a schedule, here's where you go. The teachers anticipated me that day, and yeah, I think last year I helped with some social studies projects, and this year I was involved with, and I think it was in first grade, a puppet show, and those first graders just knocked my socks off on what they could do. I mean, they were kind of bossing me around. I was supposed to be helping them, but they knew more about the project than I did. But yeah, I've really enjoyed getting in the classroom and spending time with the little kids. I kind of grew. My teaching experience has been with the middle and the high school, so I'm a little more intrigued with the elementary level now.
You led right into my next question. Why is getting involved in the classrooms so important in your position?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question. And our teachers and our staff work so hard on a daily basis, and I wish the community could really get in there and see the impact that our staff has on their students. And I think it just gives me it's been a long. This is my 11th year as superintendent at 3. It's been almost 15 years since I've been in a school every day, and so it's been a good reset for me to be around and see what the importance of our work that we're doing at the school level. And it's not just about curriculum. It's when you go in, these kids, I was in Caneyville last week, and I would go into some of these classrooms, and they're coming up, and I know some of the kids, but a lot of them I don't. Some of these kids I don't even know come up, and they give you a hug, and they say something to you. They're there to in a safe environment, and our teachers and our staff do such a great job out in the schools.
You've got some new faces on your school board, including one that is a member of our broadcasting crew, and John Decker. What have those new ideas and new faces been on the Board of Education so far?
Yeah, it's been a good experience. I think it's been a learning curve for everyone because when you first, it's kind of like when you start teaching, you go through and you have an idea what the classroom's going to be, and then once you get in there, it's a little bit different. So I think we've all tried to get our way through about, hey, this is our role, this is not, and learning about how complicated some of the school business is. When you're talking about budget and finance and those type things, it takes a while to grasp those, and our board members have done a good job of learning that.
Last year for you as a dad, your son was on the region runner-up basketball team. For you, was that cooler than 1993 when you played? Was it better as a dad to see your son experience that, or did 93 still beat it?
No, I think I think as a kid and you're involved with that, it doesn't really hit you till later on. But I think as an adult, I've been involved with state tournament basketball wise as an assistant coach, as a principal. Our girls went when I was a superintendent. I think each time that I've been involved, the more special it becomes. So I think as a dad and as an adult, and it kind of hits home, and it means a little bit more to you.
I know I see you at different events. I saw you at a soccer game earlier this year. I think it was a boys' game. I was taking some pictures, and I saw you pop in there. I know you're at band concerts. You're at a little bit of everything. Why is that important to you outside of the classroom to still support these students?
Yeah, our students they're involved in so much, and I enjoy going. I'm kind of I guess we were using the word a while ago, a sports nerd or whatever, but I kind of enjoy it. And you're seeing your students and their parents at a little different atmosphere than just the academic side. And schools we're here to focus on academics, but there's also a lot of byproducts of being involved in sports and teams. And I'm still a competitor myself. I like to see our kids compete, and I want them to win and be as successful as they can be, and also be good role models for younger kids and just be good sportsmen.
I know if I ask you this question, you'll have to give a political answer saying, oh, I love all the sports equally. But we know you're a basketball guy at heart, probably. You'd have to admit that if we put a lie detector on you. How excited does it make you for a basketball team this year coming up for the boys that have such high expectations, especially for you knowing these kids as well as you do?
Yeah, it's exciting to have, and as you said, I want every one of our programs. And you know what? See, I'm going to throw a curveball at you. My most that I've probably enjoyed the most a little bit has been bass fishing. I was a captain over the last few years. Hayden got into bass fishing, and so that was a neat experience too. But yeah, I'm probably more of a basketball guy. But yeah, it's exciting for our kids and our coaches and our community to have some hype around any of your programs, whether it's if it's checkers, that's good for your programs, and it's good for your school system to have some hype around those.
I want to take you back to when you were in school. I'll put you on the spot a little bit. Who were the teachers? We've been asking this. Who were the teachers, administrators, or so on that had an impact on you that may still impact your decisions that you have today?
Yeah, wow, that's almost a loaded question, putting you on the spot, because I think even you don't realize that at the time that those people did have some impact on you. I was at the school board meeting the other night, and some former students that I had come up and said something to me, And you don't really see your impact as an educator sometimes, especially at the high school level, till later down the road, because that kid I hadn't seen since he was in high school. But I would go back. I'm probably a little biased here. I would say a little bit about my father-in-law. I had him as he was a teacher of mine, and also as a coach early on, and I wouldn't go over to his house if we didn't win, because I didn't want to be around him if it was a loss. But he had a major impact, and still is today. But I would also go back and just say there were some other teachers there too that impacted you, that you just had a good relationship with.
Maybe the hardest one to ask, or maybe your favorite one to ask, it could be at the same thing, is the future. What's on the horizon for Grayson County Schools? We talked about the Technology Center. That's going to open up so many new doors for students. But what else is coming on the horizon for Grayson County Schools?
Yeah, I think this year over the last several years, we've done a lot to try to improve our buildings and our grounds. Whether it's a lot of stuff the community don't really see, but we've put on a bunch of roofs. We've done some HVAC projects at Caneyville and the middle school. So there's always on the horizon of what we can do to improve our buildings and our learning environments for our students. And when you have this many buildings and grounds, it's a constant battle to stay on top of them and keep them in good shape. So I think we're always striving for that. And then also just working with some of our academic stuff and getting some of those new programs implemented and moving forward. So those are just some probably short term, right on the horizon of what we're looking at over the next couple of years.
Great things happening in Grayson County Schools. Remember, you can follow them on all of their social media channels to keep up. We'll take a break, though, and have more on the halftime show, as this has been another edition of Cougar Conversations on K105.